guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back here at Dream Giveaway Garage, and boy, oh boy, do I have one heck of a monster truck for you. It's this thing right here. This is a 2024 Ram TRX that, guess what, is no longer just a TRX. This is a Henessey Mammoth, known as the Last Stand. But before we get into this mega size, mega horsepower supercharged truck, let's talk about what's going on here. So guess what? 2024 is the official year of the end of the TRX. That supercharged V8, that Hemi underneath the hood, gone is the TRX, and what is going into the lineup is the new 2025 Ram RHO. And if you haven't seen my RHO review, I'll leave it at the end of this one. Now, Ram has said that the RHO is not a direct replacement for the TRX, but there's still time, and there's still people like John Henessey that are taking the TRX and turning it into this mega beast that he calls the Mammoth 1000. And that's why they call it the Last Stand, because this is the final year. Now, of course, Ford still has the Raptor R, and for 2024, they boosted the horsepower up to 720 ponies underneath the hood. That may sound like a lot, but wait until I tell you how much horsepower is underneath the hood of this thing. So let's go ahead, dive into this Henessey Mammoth and find out, is it the king of all performance trucks? Let's go ahead and find out. Right off the bat, you have that aggressive flared fender look of the Ram TRX, and that goes without saying that that is just a killer look. Let's talk about some of the touches. So you'll see that extra width, not only in the fender flare, but the fender itself. We have functional corner air curtains up top. You got your LED headlight design, projector beam headlights, daytime running lamps, and then you'll notice one of the additions is this stamped steel front bumper. There's also a stamped steel rear bumper. You got your push bar, and we have these black oak square cube LED fog lamps in the opening. Really gonna help illuminate what's in front of you. And I like the fact that Henessey went ahead and not just added extra ponies underneath the hood, but there's a lot of exterior touches that I wanna point out to you. The first one is the stamped steel bumper. Now, as you come across the front, you're gonna have your Flow letters, sort of like the Flow tie from Chevy. You have your Ram name, fully functional all the way through. We're gonna need lots of cool air, because guess what? I'll give you a little hint. There's well over 1,000 horsepower underneath the hood. So just something to think about. Just chew on that a little bit like a piece of beef jerky. Now, as we work our way down, you got the Mammoth name that's been laser cut into the steel bumper. We have another black oak, massive LED lighting, that rectangular lighting. And then you'll notice the amount of ground clearance and all that stamped steel protection underneath. If you're wondering what the hell is this thing, this is a license plate bracket if you live in a state where you have to have a front mounted license plate. This is removable. So if you win this and you live in Florida with me, you could just take that off. Kind of looks a little ridiculous, just sitting there, but just in case somebody from California, New Jersey, New York, states like that. But let me know how you feel about the front of this thing. I mean, I almost feel like I could do a workout on this thing. Like, yeah. Look at that, freaking just unbelievable. Now, when we get to the hood, you have your functional hood scoop. This thing could go in about 3 feet of water, plus some. We have a required DOT auxiliary lighting because of the extra width. And I love the satin black front area here. And then of course you're gonna have the functional heat extractors on the side with that 6.2 liter supercharged V8 badge. Up on the windshield, of course, we have the Henessey name. So much goes with that name. I remember back when I was in high school and John Henessey was taking the famous Dodge Viper and turning those things into extreme horsepower beasts. Of course, we know the Exorcist, which is that ZL1 with over 1,000 horsepower. I've actually reviewed one of those on the channel. Search it because it's a pretty darn good video. Now, as we come around the bend, like I said, not just about horsepower. We do have some upgraded wheels. You're gonna get these Henessey branded multi-spoke wheels with the beadlock style design. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, what's the size of this wheel? 20-inch wheel, 35-inch tires. There is an off-road package where you could get 37-inch tires, 35-inch tire, and obviously it's got the shielding on the side to protect you. Those Nito ridge grapplers gonna protect from getting a puncture, because you're still gonna have the functionality of this truck. I mean, it is a 4x4 off-road truck. Steven's gonna zoom in and you can see the truck's been lifted and leveled. And I love the way you can see the upper control arms, the shock absorbers. We got those Bilstein dampers that every nanosecond make adjustments to give you the perfect ride. As we swing around, Steven's gonna show off that functional fender flare venting on the backside. And then of course we have our Mammoth 1000 badge. That tells you right there, the reason why they say 1,000, it's not because this weighs 1,000 pounds, it weighs more than 1,000 pounds, because we have a little over 1,000 horsepower. Gloss black on your door handles, flat black on, of course, your mirror caps. And then another addition that you won't get on a TRX from the factory, Henessey adds those electric dropping running boards to the Ram TRX. And I really like this color with the blue and the black, nice two-tone. Working our way towards the rear, you gotta have the Ram bar. Love the way Ram creates these pieces of accessories and brings their name into the actual setup. You could get, of course, floodlights, all sorts of stuff up top. Out back, Steven's gonna be able to really show off the rear suspension. There's that Bilstein active terrain dynamic suspension. And then of course, we have the badging on the side of the bed. Henessey Last Stand. It's not too gaudy. Like some Raptor graphics get a little out of control. This one is very tasteful. Now, as we swing it around back, what do we got going on? You're gonna have, of course, your LED lighting, just like the factory, the Henessey name, Ram Mammoth 1000. And then working our way down to ground level, what you're gonna find is those stamped steel rear bumpers, and then you'll notice our custom exhaust. Gonna let that supercharged V8 sing. You do have still your full tow capability. Once upon a time, I remember back in the 1990s when the GMC Cyclone came out, you weren't allowed to tow with it. They wouldn't let you tow. But these performance trucks, you could still tow. You got your recovery tow hooks, and you have your spare mounted up nice and high. But why don't we go ahead? Actually, I need to open up the tailgate. What was I thinking? Nice soft release. You got your bed liner in there, your tie down locations, LED lighting, and a power sliding rear cab window. So that's really nice setup on how they have that. But let's get to it now. Let's pop the hood on this supercharged truck and see the heart of this Mammoth. All right, guys, we got the massive hood popped. You can actually see the Ram airflow. That's gonna help bring cool air and not a bunch of dust and water. On the cover, the TRX cover, we have the Henessey Mammoth 1000 build plate. This is serial number 10, and that is the person that did the work on this vehicle. Unfortunately, that's as much as you're gonna be able to see without removing all the plastic, but Steven's gonna flex his camera skills and show you that supercharged Hemi right there on the passenger side corner. But what do we have? Still a 6.2 liter supercharged V8, but now it pumps out 1,012 horsepower, 969 stump pulling pound-feet of torque. Of course, it's made it to a modified Torque Flight 8-speed automatic. 0 to 60 in this truck that weighs 6,400 pounds, 2.9 seconds. Quarter mile, 11.4 at 120 miles per hour. And the way that it gets it done is by this process. We have an upgraded high-flow supercharger, front drive pulley, crank damper pin assembly upgraded, a thermostat upgrade, heavy-duty supercharger belt. The spark plugs have been specially picked for this supercharger application. We got an HPE ECM calibration and an HPE TCM upgrade. So definitely bringing the goods when it comes to getting the most out of that V8. And it's interesting because, remember, the Demon 170 does produce more horsepower, 1,025, but that's on E85. These numbers I just quoted you are on 93 octane pump gas. But why don't we go ahead, let's hear this Mammoth roar. Guys, get your stilts or your big ladders out, because that's one of the only ways to get in this truck. I know you're probably saying to yourself, well, Joe, I didn't know a truck could have this much horsepower in today's day and age. And of course, John Hennessey was the one to do it. But how much is it? Very good question. This one, obviously, Dream Giveaway Garage is giving it away. Go figure. But MSRP, if you're going to have this built, is right around $160,000, give or take $1,000 or $2,000. But why don't we go ahead and see how this Mammoth is different from your standard TRX to the door panels. I love right from Ram, you're getting top materials. The leather, the white contrast stitching, the Alcantara, we got the Harman Kardon sound system. You got your Mammoth Twinkie tray in the center, 6 Twinkies, or 1 2-foot long Twinkie. Down below in the door pocket, you have enough room for a Brontosaurus burger and a couple glasses of pterodactyl milk. Now, when you go from the door panel to the dash, more of the stitching. There's our TRX badge, because this is still a TRX, but this is the extra badge. Number 10 out of 200, Mammoth 1000. Of course, you have your felt lining in here, so you could actually keep all your Rolexes and your jewelry and it won't get all scratched, because you probably got a bunch of Rolexes too if you're rolling in one of these. Come on in. You have the older infotainment system, because remember, 2025 is the redesign. That's not a bad thing though. On your performance dashboard, you can see how you still have all your different drive modes, full touchscreen capability, really nice to be able to just get through anything, and you have real buttons and knobs. Down below, you have your trailer release. You could add auxiliary things like a winch. We have our launch control. Can't wait to do that with you. Our 4x4 button layout. More USBs and Cs than what they have at a Apple store. You got a little tiny slot here for some jujubes, wireless charging. And then here is your, if I could dig it out of here, God. There we go. There's your TRX key fob with the red. Nice remote start. Some of this carbon fiber style material. This is our Torque Flight 8-speed automatic. 2 cup holders, of course. And then you have the leather, the Alcantara, your TRX build plate with your VIN number. Open this up. Here's a nice little bit of a tray where you could keep, I would say you probably want to keep your silver spoons and forks. Maybe you're lucky enough to be born with a silver spoon in your mouth. You can keep that here, and there's a USB-A. Open this up. You got a lot of freaking room in there. You could easily put, I would say, 2 NFL regulation footballs, as long as you deflate them a little bit, that are signed by Tom Brady. Or maybe signed by Giselle. Is that too soon? Is that too soon to bring up Giselle and Tom Brady? I don't know. What do I care? But you could keep those in there. And then the seats. The leather, the Henessey embroidery, the TRX embroidery. We still have the official TRX leather care guide to protect your leather. Perforated, ventilated, heated, the whole shabam, and full electric assist for the passenger and the driver. No sunroof though. $160,000? No sunroof? That's freaking nuts. But why don't you come over to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel of this Mammoth. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have 2 memory seat settings. You are gonna get an aluminum brake pedal and throttle pedal. And then of course we have the Henessey WeatherTech all protection floor mats. That's worth an extra 5 horsepower. Here's your seat controls, easy to get to. I'm 6 feet tall and you got plenty of freaking room in here. Steering wheel, the leather, the Alcantara, flat black on all the switchgear, metal paddles to go up and down that Torque Flight 8-speed automatic. And then you have that beautiful 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster, all the important gauges right in front of you. And there's a head-up display, and you have a digital rearview mirror. Now, I'm not gonna show you the back seat. That looks like any other Ram truck that I've reviewed. There's nothing different. It doesn't even say John Hennessy or anything like that. What I wanna do is go on throttle and show you what this Mammoth is all about. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get to it. All right, guys, we are riding on a freaking Mammoth, or actually inside a Mammoth, a Mammoth 1000 from Henessey, and boy, oh boy, is this thing a beast. I have it in sport mode, and if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go on throttle, shall we? On throttle, here we go! Oh my God, this thing is absolutely bonkers. The one thing that scares the heck out of me are the off-road tires. It would be really awesome if this came lowered, not slam, but more like street truck lowered with some actual streetable tires. But when it comes to sheer force, torque, power, sound, and everything else, it's extreme. So much so I gotta do it again. One's not enough. It's like a Lay's potato chip. Can't just have one. Oh, here we go. That Torque Flight 8-speed automatic on the brakes. And that is probably my biggest zonk for this truck, is that it needs some upgraded brakes pronto. Like I want some Willwood brakes, some Bear brakes, Brembos, something other than the standard floating caliper. Because if you're building up this much speed very quickly, then you gotta have a way to shed the speed. And I don't trust these brakes. Even if they came notarized, I wouldn't trust them. But you're getting all the great amenities that Ram is known for, but you're getting that 4x4 and that supercharged power. You ready? I'm ready. Oh, here we go. Supercharger sound. Woo! The Bilstein shock absorbers do a pretty darn good job of balancing out nosedive under the brakes, and then of course when you go on throttle and the nose going towards the sky. I mean, it's over 6,000 pounds, so it's got a lot of weight to kind of manage, but it does a pretty darn good job at it. The Torque Flight, though, shifts with supremacy. I mean, it is very, very nicely done. It goes all the way up to redline, which is crazy. And speaking of redline, if you're ready, I'm ready. Oh, here we go. Woo! A little bit of wallowing action makes it kind of scary in this thing, but here we go. Traction control is struggling for grip because we're on off-road tires. Definitely not a corner carver, that's for sure. But still very composed. You do have the traction control to help keep you in check. But it's the sound of that supercharger whine and all of that great horsepower and torque, which just makes it freaking phenomenal. And then the sound. Oh, here we go. It's interesting how when it comes to power delivery, I'm gonna go ahead and try it with the manual. I'm gonna shift manually with this 8-speed automatic transmission. And we're gonna see how it goes. Are you ready? Oh, here we go. Whoa! It's like the truck leaps off the ground up front. That's how much, when you're shifting manually, it just really puts you back in the seat, and just a crazy, crazy experience. Nice downshifts, Smooth, crisp. Let's go on throttle again, shall we? First gear. On throttle, here we go. There's so much torque, it like wants to rip the steering wheel out of your hand. And I'm telling you, wow, that speedometer, you look down, you're like, I'm doing that? Wow. And then of course, like I said, you have all the great amenities in here. All of that horsepower is under warranty. So you got that protection. And this is just one bad mamma jamma. And it's the last stand. There's TRX is gone, 2024. You better get one because they're going extinct again. See what I did there? TRX, T-Rex, dinosaur extinction. But if you're lucky enough to either buy one of these or win the giveaway, you're gonna be one happy freaking camper in this thing. I wanna do one more. We gotta do one more, right? I mean, I can't just cut you loose and say, I'll see you where it all started. We gotta do some manual shifting again from a dead stop. All right, first gear. You ready? Because I'm definitely ready. On throttle, here we go! Love it, love it. I hope you've enjoyed it as well. Now it's time we're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been another crazy woolly mammoth kind of day here at Dream Giveaway Garage. I definitely gotta thank Lori, Ryan, Chris, and the rest of the crew getting us access to this mammoth, this Henessey Mammoth. Remember, if you use the Radies Rise promo code, you will get now triple your giveaway chances when you spend $25 or more. And I don't get paid a dime to say any of that. Dream Giveaway Garage wants to get one of you guys to win. And if you win this, I will be more than happy to make arrangements to try to be here and make that happen. Now, of course, when it comes to this kind of truck and performance, let me know what you think. Is this the king supreme of high performance trucks, or would you just rather get a Raptor R or just keep your TRX stock? Let me know down in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radies Rise family. Of course, we need to give it up. Stephen Flood, he actually is going to buy himself a stuffed animal of a woolly mammoth because he's so impressed with this pickup truck. So thank you, Stephen, for your hard work. We'll go get you that truck over at KB Toys. And just like always, I'll see you on the next ride.